Hey everybody, this is another episode of Husbands Know Better. I'm Ben Husband. It's my brother Daniel Husband, our dad Daryl Husband. We're here wrapping up the NBA regular season tonight. So Western Conference and Eastern Conference playoff games are set. We've got the play-in games starting. Was it tomorrow night?
Yes,
For the ninth and 10th seeds. And then we will dive into what some of our predictions
sir.
are.
It is the seventh and eighth seeds for tomorrow.
Seventh and eighth first, then ninth and
Nobody
10th.
cares about the ninth and tenth seeds going first.
Well, they have to play two games. You think they would stick them on the first night and then have the seven and eights play?
You think everybody's getting all caught up in their emotions to watch the Heat and the Bulls play?
No, they want to see the Kings play. They're all excited about it.
I
I'm
mean,
excited
there
about it. There's
is
at least one
30,
person.
33% of us in this group chat is excited to watch the Kings play the Mavericks tomorrow. So at 10 p.m.,
Yes, we'll definitely be staying up for that game.
set your alarms, kids.
All right, so we're going to start off talking about the Western Conference before we dive into the East. So crazy turn of events in the Western Conference. I think I had predicted the Golden State Warriors to finish third. They had a very easy schedule. I like the team, and going into this past week, they really just had to win like one highly contested game, and then they dropped two. Especially, I think that that loss to was it the Blazers really did them in.
It was
Uh,
Spurs.
the Spurs
the
with Harrison
Spurs.
Barnes, wild 3-pointer for anybody that cared. That was insane.
Yep. So with that, the Golden State Warriors fall to the play-in game, which I certainly did not see happening. So let's talk a little bit about the play-in games, how we think those are going to go, and then we'll dive into the rest of the seeding. So not surprisingly, I'm picking the Kings to take out the Mavs. But then I think we'll ultimately lose. So I think the seedings will stay as they are. Warriors and Grizzlies, seventh and eighth seeds in the West.
I'm going to be the real bad father. I'm predicting Dallas to beat Sacramento and then Dallas to beat the Grizzlies. I'm sorry, guys. It's not that I am rooting against you guys. I,
Anthony Davis has the Grizzlies number. We always play horrible against him. So the only thing I can think of is that we just need I if it were me, I would probably send in I would send in John Conchar and just punch Davis right in the abs as hard as possible. He keeps on having abductor injuries, so you just send him in and just punch him in the abs as hard as possible. Davis goes down, you win the game, easy problem solved, and then you get to play the Thunder, get demolished in the next round.
This reminds me of Dad some years back when the Lakers played the Celtics in the finals. Man, when Shaq was still in, and Shaq was having some toe issues. I can't remember who the Celtics center was, but you wanted to have him just go for the jump ball with Shaq and hammer down on his toe, Dad.
oh, Vitaly Potapenko.
There we go.
It was him, but it wasn't in the finals. I think it was just a random game because 2008, Shaq wasn't there. He was in Miami, and we weren't in the finals before that
He
since
would have been in Phoenix.
87, I think.
Okay.
Shaq was in Phoenix. He got traded in 2000. I thought he got traded in 2008 to Phoenix, part of that Sean Marion to Miami deal.
Was that 2008? Okay.
It was either 2008 or 2009.
Okay.
I'm trying to
That
think.
would be a different.
2008 was Gasol, but I don't know if Shaq also got traded.
Sorry to torpedo us down a rabbit trail there. So, so,
Just trying to tilt the odds. Just trying to
so,
tilt the odds.
so Daniel's
For
got a
me,
recommendation for taking out the Mavs.
but in reality, I not fantasy. Um, I don't want to play the Mavs. I agree with you, Dad, on that one. Like I said, I don't like how Davis matches up against us. He always destroys us. However, that's all they've got. So I'm kind of torn on this one.
You got to pick one, Daniel. You should have had that.
Jeez, put the gun to my head on that. No, I'm still torn on it. No, I honestly, I genuinely think that the Grizzlies can still take out the Mavs on this one. I was pretty down on them losing to. I'm still think we have an uphill battle against Golden State, but the last time we played Golden State, granted it wasn't a playoff setting, but we lost to them by 8 points, and it basically took a 52-point game from Steph, a 26-point game from Podziemski, and a triple double from Green to beat us by 8 points. Granted, we were at home. There's some different odds on that one, but I think we have a lot more potential going into these playoffs than you guys are, or than you're letting on to in regards to Dallas. Like I said, Anthony Davis is our Achilles heel, but after you get past Davis, you don't have a LeBron James that you have to play against. Like with the Lakers, you have a Klay Thompson and Max Christie. I mean, their size is Herculean. They've got Gafford and um
Washington,
Lively, but
Lively in the center. But I mean, it's a good rebounding team, which actually, I think that hurts you guys. The only thing is that you do have Ja, and
who's going to be picking up Ja? Nobody on that team.
Right. So, but Ja doesn't shoot 3-pointers either.
No, he actually has been shooting. Was it over 40% in the last month?
Okay.
Say what you will with that one.
Okay.
So it sounds like, Daniel, you've got Warriors Grizzlies.
I think it's just going to stay the same. I genuinely think it's just going to stay the same. Like that, I know I beat it around the bush, but I think it's just going to genuinely stay the same.
Yep.
Because we still have home court advantage for the eighth game or the eighth seeded game.
Yep. So you and I have the same then. So I think the only difference is it sounds like you're thinking the Mavs will win the Kings matchup, but regardless, Grizzlies and Warriors hanging on to the 7th and 8th seed, which is basically what I called. So Dad, you are the one that is just pounding on your son's teams here, which is fine.
Hey, we need some
not by choice.
We need some variety for this conversation.
Yeah.
All right, so going into the full bracket then, so that would have the Grizzlies playing the Thunder, the 1st and the 8th seed. My prediction for that would be Thunder would handle them in 5 games. I'll spot the Grizzlies
so
one.
Nice.
I got them in 4, beating Dallas.
I mean, I'll be happy if we can chip a game off of OKC, but it would be cool if we could get it reversed because I think Golden State would actually be a decent first rounder against OKC.
All right, so you guys take the first playing game.
Yeah. I mean, I doubt it. I doubt it, but I think for watchability, I think the Warriors would handle the Thunder way better than we would, just because they have their war-torn vets.
I think it's a good segue into the next matchup being Houston and Golden State, because here's a super duper seasoned team for the playoffs against a bunch of children in Houston.
Hey, Steven Adams has made it to the finals, and Fred VanVleet has a championship ring.
Okay, and VanVleet did. I mean, I had him on my fantasy team. That means absolutely nothing, but I just didn't see him much as the leader. I thought that Jalen Green was the leader of that team, and Sengun. I just think that those two guys are the ones to lead that team. But I picked, believe it or not, Houston in 5. I think Ime Udoka is gonna have them prepared. I think he's in their ear every day. I don't think they have any fear at all of Golden State or anybody else. So this may be totally wrong. I could be totally having egg on my face come the end of next week.
I think you do have a good lean into that one. Although I will say that team fell apart. The Rockets fell apart when they didn't have when VanVleet was out on injury. they dropped multiple games because it would basically just led to Jalen Green having to create, and it's been proven in the past he cannot create on his own. Um,
Good point. But
but I
I
do
believe
like
it's
where you're coming.
healthy.
I do like where you're coming from though, because near the end of the season, the Rockets were experimenting with a Şengün, Steven Adams lineup that basically just pounding the other teams with size, and that's something that the Warriors do not have.
Yep.
You're not if you're expecting Kevon Looney to lock in the paint, you're going to be horribly disappointed.
I mean, he's been average. He's deep in the bench. They're playing small ball, so maybe the good thing about Looney is he's got finals experience. He's definitely seasoned. It would be the only choice that they have because I don't I don't see them running up and down the court with Houston. So the only way to beat them would be size.
You've got
And oh no, no, you go, Ben.
I was gonna say you've got a lot of playoff experience. You can never doubt playoff Jimmy because when he comes to the table, he tends to light things up.
Yep.
I think they'll take a couple of games, but I'm with you guys that the Rockets have just been playing too well, and especially this skid at the end of the season for the Warriors really made me scratch my head. I might have picked them to pull some upsets if they finished, sixth or even fifth seed. But just with the way that they rounded out the season, I'm wondering more if they've got issues under the hood. And the Rockets, they played well throughout the season, so I think they'll still end up taking the
The,
series.
the thing that did not help the Warriors is them getting pushed to the play-in, and they literally could not take the last game of the season off. They were one of maybe three teams that had to play everybody, and especially for a team that has a lot of miles on the tires, that's not something you want to be doing. And when you have to add in another playing game, that is gonna add to some exhaustions because let's say they take care of the Grizzlies, they take care of the Grizzlies tomorrow. That means the game one is Saturday or Sunday, and that is for them not enough time for rest and to game plan.
Sure. Or worst case scenario, they could lose to the Grizzlies and then they have to play a second playing game.
Oh yeah, yeah, and I think you guys saw it. I mean, take what you will with this one. Butler got kneed on the thigh. Draymond Green left for a brief stint yesterday, and Curry came back from that ankle injury, and a lot of people are saying that he's still playing hurt. So, I mean,
Not a good look.
I honestly, I'm just making all these statements because I'm trying to talk myself into a win tomorrow. I'm not wearing a single Grizzlies hoodie because I think I'm jinxed right now. So now I'm
Superstitions
just
come
getting
through.
paranoid. I'm
I
just
didn't put my
becoming paranoid.
Celtics clothes on just because I didn't think of it.
That's fair. It's looming over my head. I will say I am going to be ambitious and say Rockets in six, but I totally see a scenario where Golden State just manhandles them and reminds them that they're still a young team. And I could totally see Golden State just shutting the Rockets down in five.
Could happen. TBD. We'll see. You got a very seasoned Golden State Warriors team, that's for sure.
It's a little too much.
All right, let's move up to
Wait,
the
who are you picking, dude?
oh, I've got the Rockets in six.
Oh, okay.
Yep. I think the Warriors, I could see a situation where they take them to seven or maybe even steal the series, but that end of the season just really made me scratch my head. I thought they were going to be the third seed. That was my prediction last
Yeah,
week. So they really fell from
full
grace
steam
there.
ahead.
Yeah. Yep. All right. So third and sixth seed got the Lakers against the Timberwolves. The Lakers only up by one game, but they definitely threw the last game of the season. The Timberwolves playing well at the end of the season. What do you guys think about this matchup?
Lakers sweep.
Sweep. Oh,
Yeah, I just don't have. I think there's too much LeBron and Luca. I think that's great that they've got Rudy Gobert, but what do they have on the perimeter to guard LeBron and Luca? And if LeBron's driving, maybe Gobert is that guy. But I think this is a bad matchup for Minnesota. The thing that was so magical for them last year was they matched up with Denver perfectly because they had Cat and Gobert to switch on and off of Jokic, and the size mattered, and that was ideal for them. Well, the size isn't going to matter. Gobert is not your 50 point a night guy. Um, he's probably going to get 13 or 14 at best, and you've got two super studs that I think they're just going to, they're going to sweep them. The one thing that I sort of like about Minnesota is with Julius Randle, he's got to feel some kind of pressure of being so horrible in the playoffs. His shooting is 29% in the playoffs career. That's staggering for him to be the most part the go-to guy in New York, and then just totally falling apart, even if you've got Jalen Brunson. So if he's motivated and plays at least better for Minnesota, I think this could go maybe 6, and that would be a win at least for Julius Randle. The huge win would be for him to win the series, but I just don't see it with Luka and LeBron. I just don't see it. Austin Reeves is, there's another perimeter guy who can shoot and play defense. Who cares if Luka can't play defense? You're going to have to outscore him then.
Yeah, Austin Reeves has really come to his own.
Yep.
I think he's for sure going to be an X factor in this matchup. I did not have the Lakers sweeping. I thought that the Minnesota would take them to 6, but
really? Okay.
you're talking me off of a game here, maybe.
Okay.
I oh man, what was I gonna say? I heard this mentioned today, and it's true. I don't understand how Dallas did not get Austin Reeves from the Lakers in the Luka trade. Like, how did you not get Austin Reeves in that trade too?
They really wanted to push Luka out. They wanted to push Luka out more than getting something else.
It's just insane. Dad, I liked where you're going with the Lakers on this one. Just a couple of things to put, like more in-depth things. Uh, Jane McDaniels is probably going to be on Luka, I guess.
Okay.
But then after that, who like Ant's probably going to be taking on LeBron, like, or do you put him on Luka? Like, do you have Ant taking up what? Like, so you look at their lineup as like, who's taking LeBron, who's taking Luka, and I mean, you probably put Ant on. Now that I think about it, you probably put Ant on Austin
LeBron.
Reeves, so that way it's not that much of a defensive load. But the thing is that I've been hearing is or what's been going on is JJ has been subbing out LeBron and Austin at the same time and leaving in Luka. So that way, when Luka comes out and LeBron and Austin go in, it's less of a load carry for LeBron because of his old age, where Luka can basically handle the offense on his own. So it's just a nightmare situation. I think you're right on that with the Wolves. Gobert is not give him the ball and watch him drop 30, and you unloaded Towns, who was what's that?
He's a rim protector. That's great.
And you want to know what the Lakers are lacking? Bigs. They run small. They want to play against small. Like yep. I think honestly I think this is a round where you see Gobert and like he almost isn't playable. Like I could totally see a scenario happening where he's just where what is it? Finch has to bench him because he's just like, I can't put you out there because they're just killing you, and they're just killing him. And
yeah, I think
Um,
So how many games,
I
Daniel?
what's that?
How many games?
I'd say five. I'll say five on this one. I will say that in regards to your Randall comment, I've heard Jacoby Walter mention it many times, and he's a Knicks fan. He goes to all the Wolves fans who've been singing his praises, just wait until the playoffs, and then you're really gonna be questioning those takes.
yeah.
We will see. All right, on to the last matchup. We got the Nuggets against the Clippers. I thought that the Nuggets were going to take the 3 seed. I thought they had medium difficulty schedule. Didn't foresee the coach firing coming up,
Or
or Jokic
GM,
had, uh, yeah, well, yeah, any of the
coach or
firing.
GM.
Yeah, yeah. So that really threw things for a loop. You got two teams that are playoff bound, and they both fire their coaches. That's nuts. The Clippers are red hot heading into the playoffs. I did not have them as the fifth seed. They very easily could have been the fourth seed, but with the way that the tiebreakers went, Nuggets do get home court advantage. I think the Clippers are going to steal this one. I think they'll take it in six.
I have that too. I have that too.
Same here.
They're just on fire. Harden will finally get the monkey off his back and win a quality playoff series, which would be awesome for his. What's the word I'm looking for?
Legacy.
Legacy. Thank you. His legacy. And then a little side note on this is someone who has gotten like next to no credit, but Norman Powell for
Yeah.
the Clippers. He's a high candidate for a most improved candidate. I think that they just have too much going right now. Ty Lue's got a healthy Kawhi Leonard for the first time ever, I think. And I
Put an asterisk on that one. Put an asterisk. A lot can change in a week.
They were talking about his knee this past week. You never know, but
Oh,
yeah,
jeez, that's right. I forgot about that.
yeah. All right, what about you, Daniel? What do you got?
No, I'm with you on the
Clippers
Clippers in
taking down the
six.
Nuggets?
Yeah, although I think one person that we need to mention is Ivica Zubac. He's one of those few guys that can actually go and not like slow, like not stop Jokic, but he can go in there and
better
you
match
know,
than most guys at
yeah,
center.
he can go in there and be a pest, and you can't ignore him on defense. Like he will go in there and score.
Yep,
Yeah.
you can play both ends.
I there have been people that have been mentioning, hey, do we consider him in a third team All NBA? For how well he's been playing with the team and how well he's worked with Harden. He's kind of been the Clint Capella version for the Harden's Rockets.
Okay. I can't go with that on Zubac.
I think the third team All NBA is a little bit insane too, but I think
No.
that he has been such a big factor for them
No.
that
No.
I do not like how I'm positioned right now. I feel too straight on. But yeah, I think he's definitely somebody that should be noticed when going up against Denver. Like I said, he's going to be up in Jokic, and
And if
he's going to make a move. And they have defenders they can just throw at you.
Yep. And if
And
Jokic, hasn't, there's been questions about whether he's 100% heading into the series. A lot of the season he would, sit some back-to-back nights. So some of that could come out if they're playing him hard on defense.
yeah, I mean, they were running him so hard at the beginning of the season that I mean, you wonder how that ends up equating out when you get to, game 83, 84, 85.
Yep.
Well, they have Russell Westbrook, and that he could make a real difference. I mean, just give him the ball. He'll tell you that he makes a big difference.
You do know
all the
you do know that it's
turnovers
2025, right?
What's that?
You do know that it's the year 2025, right?
Yep, it's certainly the year 2025, and he knows so little of his mistakes that he'll just go ahead and make some more. It's the exact same ones.
Every NBA player will tell that's played with him will tell you he is the best teammate they've ever had.
Respect.
I don't know if LeBron felt that way, and I don't know if Anthony Davis felt that way.
They're different conversations. LeBron is literally one of the best players ever, and Anthony Davis is still top 75 all time. Something that you take note. Oh, so is Westbrook, but no.
All right, let's take maybe 5 minutes, see if we can run through the East real quick. So let's first round predictions in the West. Let's see if we can zip through the East. Play-in game, we've got the Bulls and the Heat at the 9 and the 10 seed. Dad, I think you and I already talked about this one. I'm actually going to take the Bulls. I know it's Spoelstra, but I think the Bulls will pull off the upset and make it into the playoffs. I think Magic win the Hawks matchup, and then the Bulls end up taking down both the Heat and then the Hawks.
Wow.
Jeez! Oh my
That is
gosh!
huge. That's nowhere near what I had. I had Atlanta winning, and then
What Kool-Aid you been drinking?
Atlanta. So I have them winning and then playing the Celtics and taking the Celtics to 7. They beat us twice this year. So
They were the giant killers.
they're giant killers. Trae Young has no fear in the playoffs of any bigger the stage, the better. And they're just super young. That's why I think they're going to take the Celtics to 7. And as far as Miami, you guys know what I think of Spoelstra. I think that he'll take out Chicago and then he'll take out Orlando. Unfortunately for Orlando, they got still some growing pains, and they'll have to wait till next year, maybe jump over some of these other teams.
Growing pains meaning scoring the basketball.
Yeah.
Quick comment about the Magic. They had a lot of injuries this year, and their guys at the end of the season have all gotten healthy right towards the last couple games. So that's my thinking. Sure. But they got Cole Anthony back. He was injured. I think it'll make a big difference for them.
Franz Wagner's back. Yep. But no, I took that in mind. I knew I know that about Atlanta. That's it. And about Orlando, and I still picked Atlanta. So
that's all right.
I'm with you, Dad. Actually, I think he'll take out the Bulls. Sorry, Ben. But I love your ambition. I think the Hawks are going to leapfrog the Magic. I think the Magic's lack of scoring prowess is alarming.
Mm-hmm.
You just can't expect Franz Wagner and Paolo Banchero to do everything. Like, you just can't. And then Magic. I'm still stuck on that. I'm gonna go just Magic just because I think they have the two better players, even if you want to consider Adebayo. Excuse me, but I like Tyler Hero, but I just don't see them. They just had such a roller coaster into their season that I can't trust it. So I'm gonna reluctantly go with the Magic, but I'm probably gonna be wrong and say it's gonna be the Heat.
TBD if Harold pulls up for another 3-pointer on a fast break.
Oh, hey, let's go. One thing to note: the Hawks are doing all of this without Jalen Johnson, and Jalen Johnson was playing out of his mind at the beginning of the season before he went down.
Yep, I agree.
They could totally be a 6th seed right now, and flirting with the 5th.
All right. So going into the actual seeds here, so Cavaliers would be playing in my situation, the Bulls, and your guys' situation, either the Heat or the Magic, depending on how that second game goes. I'm going to take the Cavaliers in 4 against the Bulls. They're just so good.
Yeah, I have the Cavaliers in 4 over Miami. Spoelstra can only carry them so far as coaching, but they can't overcome Donovan Mitchell, Evan Mobley, Darius Garland. I mean, that's just a loaded roster.
And then don't forget their bench has just been playing great. Ty Jerome has been looking great. Sam Merrill has been looking great.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, they're deep. So
Don't
I
forget the
th-
Dean
let's see.
Wade.
I think for Miami at least, the only positive against any of these matchups would be I think Adebayo is better than Jared Allen. That's it. If I'm just looking at single players, I'd take Adebayo over Jared Allen, and
Oh, I
then
think everybody would.
after that, it's a huge fall off for Miami.
And
What do
I'm
you
with
got,
you on that
Daniel?
one. I think it's a Cleveland sweep. Any of those. I think a real question is any. Do you see any of those four teams taking a game off of Cleveland? I would pick Atlanta, but we already have Atlanta playing against Boston.
Yep.
So, but still, the playoffs. Yeah, Trae Young is great, but oh man, that Cleveland team is scary. They know how to make you look
Yeah.
really bad. They know how to make you look
Atlanta
embarrassed.
would easily be the best of those four teams in my eyes. And maybe they could take one off of Cleveland, maybe, but
You could
they're,
you
they're
could
going to
definitely
take
talk me into
three.
a game.
Pardon me?
You could talk me into a game. I'm with you on that one.
But,
See how that one.
we'll just jump to the Boston Atlanta one. So I have it in 7 games. Like I said, they've beaten us twice this year. We only beat them once. Their energy's awesome. And I I mean, I think we're going to confidently win it in 7, but they're going to give us everything and then some.
Think it'll be a blowout in that seventh game then? Is that how you confidently win a seventh series?
It won't. Well, it won't be.
That's
The 7th game won't
I'm
be
trying to
close.
figure that one out too, Dad. Like, is it just gonna be a blowout every single game?
Okay, I guess my wording isn't great.
Just your kids
Yeah,
picking
that
on you a
has
little
happened
bit.
before. That has happened. I don't remember what year it was, but I think it was like, oh my, they were talking about like the most boring NBA finals or something like that, and I think it was like Detroit and San Antonio, and because it was just such a
Oh
miss,
man,
like every game was
85
lopsided.
points.
Yeah, well,
85
every game
points
was
by each team.
lopsided. Every game was like decided by like 10 or 15.
Hmm.
I'll take that a step further. The Knicks and Houston in 94, I think that was. It was either 94 or 95. That
It
was
would have
the
been 95.
worst one. Awful. Boring, awful.
No, 94.
All right, so for the Celtics matchup in my scenario, I would have them playing the Magic. So I think the Celtics would win that in 5. I think they're too good. I don't know about the Hawks matchup. We'll see how that ends up playing out, but I think in either case the Celtics would pull through.
I'm so Celtics Hawks for me is 5. I like your weary, Dad, but it's still the playoffs. Like the you guys have had your rocky shores, and I know you have your reservations on Missoula, but he still coached you guys to a championship, and I do think you guys have some firepower that can um slow the pesky little Hawks. Dyson Daniels will be a very. I'm really excited to see how Dyson Daniels looks in this play in a playoff series.
And his future. You think he's going to
Oh,
be
100%.
yeah, I'm excited to see him too. I
And
like
he
it.
was a throw-in for that Murray trade too.
Lucky
Uh,
them.
all right, I
Wow, it
think
must be good.
these last two should be pretty quick. So Knicks against the Pistons. I think the Pistons have a chance to upset here. I'm sure you guys probably feel differently, but I'm gonna take the Pistons over the Knicks in 7. I think the
Ooh.
Pistons have had a really good year, and I think part of me is just because I watched a lot of basketball in the 2000s, and I kind of can't believe the Knicks are good. I'm sure I'm hurting some people's feelings in New York. But I have a hard time remembering when the Knicks were actually a good team, so I'm sure part of that is just bias there.
I have the Knicks in 5, believe it or not, and I just look at all of my notes, and they're all good notes for Detroit, except that the dream season ends here. But watch
And
out
that's
for next year.
okay.
It's okay. I mean, Cade Cunningham becomes an all-star next year. I see him growing even more, and JB Bickerstaff is coach of the year. So unbelievable job on the Pistons' part.
Good
Congrats.
highlights for the season. Yeah.
I am going to take I'm going to take a dad your prediction one step further. I'm going to do Knicks in 6, and Isaiah Stewart is going to get ejected one game. That is my bold statement. I'm gonna ride that. I'm gonna ride that wave until Game 6.
Awesome.
I one thing to note about the Knicks Pistons game. I read this just before we went live. The Pistons are on the Ticketmaster app are actually putting restrictions on ticket purchasing. They're restricting them only to for the home games. They're basically restricting them to only Michigan residents, Ohio residents, and some of Indiana residents. I think they're basically blocking out a lot of New York residents from buying tickets to the game because what they've seen is a tendency of Knicks fans will travel, and Michigan isn't the furthest. And so what? Because last year during the Philly series, Knicks fans were taking over the Phillies arena and out cheering them basically. And so what they're basically doing is they're putting blocks on it, so only certain people can make it. Very interesting. Very interesting. I'm all for it. I like it. There's a little fun fact. I'll send you the article.
Last matchup, Pacers Bucks. I've got, unfortunately, the Bucks losing Dame Lillard really hurt them. I've got the Pacers winning in 6. I think the Bucks can still edge out a couple of games. Giannis is still unbelievable, but being short so much is really going to hurt them heading into this.
I think that he's the same as Jokic. He's just can't carry a cast of almost okay guys. He needs help. But both of them have their number 2 guy being injured all the time. And I know Jamal Murray is ready for the playoffs, but we'll see how healthy he is. And I don't think Doc Rivers is that good of a coach. I think Indiana.
Why is that, Dad?
His great coaching ended in Boston. I think around 2010 when we lost to the Lakers. I think that was about the last good year that he had for coaching. And Indiana, I'm glad we're not going to see them unless they upset Cleveland. They are a really good team. And that series with Cleveland will be a great series. So I had Indian 6.
Right.
They chose a really good time to get hot. That's something to something to revere, especially Halliburton, because he was looking dead in the water at the beginning of the season. Something to note: Milwaukee did just get Portis back from his suspension, but Portis is not a difference maker for a series. I'm sorry, he can win you a game, maybe, but that's about it. I'm with you. Indian 6, even though there's a bit of me that wants to just say the Bucks pull an upset off and winning in 7, but even then they'd have to be going back to Indy to play it to win in Indy. So that's a tough one, but I'm still sticking with Indian 6.
Right. So that's our playoff predictions. We'll see what happens. We'll try to keep a video
Probably
coming.
all wrong.
Could be. Who knows? Maybe the Kings actually make it to the playoffs.
Yeah, and the Grizzlies are going to sweep the Rockets.
There we go. All right. This has been Husbands Know Better. Thanks everybody for listening. Have a good night.